Okay, so hopefully we've set the scene over the past few lessons and modules with regards to Dubai on a macro scale and really being able to zoom out and look at the opportunity that the city offers in terms of a real estate point of view. So this document is designed just to bring it together and just to quickly recap and give you a point of reference of the reasons why someone should invest in Dubai and why it really should be at the top of many people's lists as well. So I'd encourage you to keep this document safe, keep it with you, and understand and learn these points in detail, and obviously be able to communicate this. So, as I said, be able to communicate it because Dubai is compared to the likes of London, Hong Kong, Miami, Paris, Sydney, etc., etc. So when you're speaking to investors, or if you are an investor, you're probably considering alternative locations as well. So it's really important to be able to, get an understanding of what Dubai offers and how you can then compare that to other cities during your research process. So as a broker, you need to tell the story, you need to sell the dream, you need to really give people confident reasons and reassurance of why they should invest in Dubai, backed by logical arguments. Okay, so fundamentally this document summarizes the investment case for Dubai. So number one, tax-free income. Obviously that's what really gets people's attention, and it is very much a tax haven. So even though we are starting to see some form of tax in recent years creep into the marketplace, for example, VAT was introduced and now corporation tax at 9% for companies when you are producing profits over 375,000 dirhams per annum based on the latest available data. However, there is still none in terms of income tax, capital gains tax, etc., etc. So fundamentally, although there may be some minimal tax implications, when you compare it to other global cities, the tax structure overall is far more attractive. Okay, your exposure is far less in the Dubai property market compared to most places in the world. Strong economy, we touched on this on the last lesson, but fundamentally Dubai has shifted and now is really making great numbers in terms of the tourists coming to the city, big employers coming to the city. You're getting universities represented here. All the retailers and hospitality brands want to be here. So it's very, very much a hub now of trade and commerce, and it's attracting people from all over the globe. When you add that to the fact that it's a wealthy, city and country in the first place, then the economy really bodes well for Dubai overall. World-class infrastructure. The new airport, DWC, that's being built out, which is set to be the largest in the world. But when you look at Dubai on a more micro level, you have the trams, the metros, the bus systems, and obviously the most commonly used one is the road network. So that's very much designed to make things as seamless as possible within Dubai. And as I expressed earlier, it's the improvements that's the main thing, right? So you live in some cities and you're paying tax in other places of the world, and the roads are terrible. There's holes everywhere and they're not very well maintained. In Dubai, they are generally well maintained, especially the highly used ones, and they're always looking to improve it. Okay, so how can they add in a road? How can they readjust this and reorganize this to improve the traffic flow? That's very much an ongoing job, and I don't think that will ever be completed, but it's really nice to see that that's being considered and it improves the infrastructure of the city. Next one, high demand. So we know Dubai has been phenomenal in terms of its property performance in recent years. As a result of that, it's attracted even more people that are coming here, both tenants, residents, tourists, etc., etc. So ultimately, as an investor, this means when you buy your property, you should have good demand on the rental market, both if you're looking to rent to a long-term corporate tenant, or if you're looking to put it on Airbnb and have people come over on their holidays and stay in your property for a premium price per night, then you should see both a good demand for both of those. But also you've got to think ahead, what's your exit strategy? How are you going to leave the investment? How liquid is your asset? And if you're pricing it fairly, you can be confident that in 5 years, 10 years, there's likely going to be really, really strong demand for property here. And yeah, that's something we definitely want to think about. So the demand levels are really, really strong. Moving on to the next one, safety. This is a huge one, especially when we're seeing levels decrease in the likes of Europe. I'm thinking of places like Stockholm, Paris, Berlin, London. There's no doubt about it. Without getting too political, the safety and the security in these cities has declined significantly, even in the past 3 to 5 years. So Dubai is becoming very much a draw for not only people that want to live that beach lifestyle, but they want safe places to live, to work. They want their kids to grow up in a nice environment, and Dubai certainly does offer that. You see on the social media all these, you can leave your phone in places to reserve your table. You can leave watches or watches getting returned. You can leave car doors open or keys on top of cars and they won't get stolen. Yes, because if they do get caught, that's obviously, you're going to have really strong ramifications. But that strong security and that strong leadership is what keeps everyone in line. And it's certainly far more attractive than the alternative. So, yeah, safety is a big one. And my prediction is you're going to see that as more and more of a draw in the city. So, whereas in the early days, it might have been the weather and the tax implications that may have attracted people, I think security and safety is going to be one that you're going to see investors quote time and time again as a predominant factor of why they are moving to Dubai. So yeah, that's really, really, nice to see. And as someone that lives in Dubai, it is so nice. It's just the little things, like, so when you're sitting by the pool, you can leave your stuff. You don't have to worry about, pickpockets that you have to do in European cities, etc., etc. I could go on all day. Next one, real estate return. So in other words, the money that you're going to make. So the rental yields that you'll see in Dubai, in other words, the return you get from renting your property on the open market in terms of cash flow and income on a monthly basis is typically higher than what you see in other premium cities across the globe. There's places in London and there's developments we look at for my other company that will offer you a 2.5% return. Whereas in Dubai, you can still get 5, 6, 7% in the premium locations. And then you can drive that right up for gross returns of 11, 12, 13% on the short-term let market, beachfront locations. And then when you combine that with the appreciation rates, the capital growth, the speed at which the value of your property rises, the income and the growth, that's really what makes it a strong investment case as well. And it's all the other factors which causes the high rental returns and the high capital appreciation rates. So keep that in mind. And just the last word on that, you can obviously tailor your strategy to cater to one or both of those factors. For example, if you are predominantly focused on watching the property value rise, then you might buy an off-plan property in a secondary tier location, which is going to see more aggressive capital growth. Or if you wanted to drive up rental returns as much as possible, or you get really strong cash flow from a beachfront asset, that's what you would want to focus on. So yeah, very much in terms of the numbers, they certainly do stack up, and it's a promising business case as well as a lifestyle case for living in Dubai. Luxury lifestyle. Again, I was speaking earlier about the 5-star hotels. There's no doubt about it. Dubai has got that glitzy image across the globe. So the hotels, the restaurants, the wealth here, the properties, the bling bling aspect, and the shopping. There's a lot of money here. There's no doubt about it. And if you like that high-end materialistic lifestyle, then Dubai is the place to be. Government support. I touched on this earlier, but there's a couple of factors to think about here. So one is things like the Dubai Land Department and the Real Estate Regulatory Agency, RERA. In other words, the guys that are underpinning the regulation in the marketplace and making it safe and putting in policies and procedures for professionalism in the marketplace. That's some level of government support, which is phenomenal to see. But also when you look at the processes for buying and selling, the building in the city, the government are behind it, right? They want to see growth. They want to see the infrastructure come into play. They want these magical communities to be built to make it an attractive proposition for people to come and live in Dubai. And that government support is super, super important because there's not lots of red tape. There's not lots of delays. There's not lots of costs associated. It's a very welcoming environment to build and to operate on a business level here, as well as that lifestyle and residential element as well. So government support is super, super crucial. Variety of properties and quality. So this is really, really interesting because if you're an agent, you have a lot to offer to your clients. And if you're an investor and a buyer, there's a lot to choose from. So yes, Dubai is a city of whatever it is now, 3.3, 3.4 million people. but it's incredibly diverse. So you have the huge glamorous beachfront apartments. You have like if you think of Imar Beachfront, for example, new mega development going up near the Palm Jumeirah. If you think of the big, large bespoke villas and mansions on the Palm Jumeirah itself. If you think of going over to downtown, you've got the luxury apartments near the DIFC and the financial sector and offices. You've got cheaper, lower entry-level properties in Business Bay. Then you come a little bit further out, you start to get into the Gulf communities like Dubai Hills, Arabian Ranches, and then they're building more and more out like Imar Oasis, Jumeirah Golf Estates, and many more such as, Damac Hills 2, etc., etc. So you've got a lot to choose from. You can either live the city life and the financial life, being in and out of the office. You can live that beachfront lifestyle where you're down near, Palm West Beach, or down to the marina where you're on the waterfront there. Or you can come out for the more quiet, the more peaceful, the more tranquil element where they're building out these mega, green golf communities with easy transportation to the centre hubs of Dubai. So there's a lot of variety. And in terms of quality, I'll just touch on this one briefly. What I really appreciate coming from the UK is that if you buy a development here, you are getting top tier. So I did mention this earlier, but things like having a swimming pool with an amazing view, a gym, co-working spaces, cinema screen, kids play area, barbecue area, rooftop facilities. You get your parking space. You get freehold ownership, and the service charges a lot of time, they aren't actually too bad. So what you're getting for what you're paying is really, really strong. And then when you combine that with all the other elements, it does make an attractive proposition. But I think that's really worth considering because the quality and the specification of the property you will receive for the price in Dubai compared to other cities is phenomenal. And when you add in the freehold ownership structure, that's really attractive for a lot of people. And then just finishing up, lastly, the future. So all of the elements above are very much what we've seen in the past few years. We have evidence of that. There's a track record of that. You can look at the supply, the products that have been delivered, the visitor numbers, the hotel occupancy rates, the government policies, the lifestyle and luxury element, and the returns that are being made in the marketplace. But what's really important as well is to think of the future. Where is Dubai going? Where is it heading? Is the government going to do a U-turn in 2 years? Are the numbers going to suddenly stop coming here and the demand is going to slow down? Are developers going to stop building these products? The answer to all of those things is pretty confidently no. Even if there is a recession or a slowdown in the marketplace, which is a natural thing to happen because you can't always be on aggressive growth. You need them soften in cyclical markets effectively. So that's really, really promising. When it does slow down at some stage in a couple of years, it's a good chance to enter the market and to buy more, and you're going to be on the upwards trajectory. But when you look at what's happening here, the buzz, the PR around Dubai, the initiatives, the steps the government are taking, they've still got that such ambitious and visionary approach, which you just don't have from other leaders across the globe. That's what makes Dubai exciting, and that's why the future of Dubai is attractive for so many people working in the city as real estate brokers and for so many property investors entering the market.